All right, let me get everyone muted. All right, sorry about that. Okay, hey guys. So super excited tonight to chat with you all about Facebook like page training. I get probably 3 to 5 questions a day about this. When do I open one? How do I start one? Why aren't my ads working? What am I doing? Nobody's seeing my posts. So I figured, okay, you know what? It's time to do a training on this. And we've talked about it a couple times, but I want to, I do not know why that does that. It says mute on entry, but I still have to mute people every once in a while. Okay, so I figured why don't we do a Zoom call on this exact topic. But there's a couple of things I want to cover first. So I wrote out a bunch of notes, and I'm hoping I can get through this in 30 minutes. So basically what I wanted to kind of start with is I want you guys to, I had a new coach say, I've been doing this for 2 weeks today, and she's like, I'm kind of going at my own pace. She does have 2 Success Club points, and she's like, I feel like I'm doing my 3 invites a day, brand new people, but I should be further along. And I loved that she said that because we work at our own pace. So, she had someone who signed up the same time as her who's already at Success Club 9, so I'm sure she's comparing herself to that other coach, but we have to remember that we're at our own pace. So I told her, trust the process. If you're doing these 3 new invites every day, it's going to work. I basically just said, trust me. And she said, absolutely I will, because who else knows what they're doing but you? And I just kind of wanted to start this call, you guys, with just trust me, right? So I think you question a lot of things that go on because it doesn't happen the way you think it's supposed to happen, and it's totally normal. Like, I get that. And I was questioning things too, and I'm like, I don't know. And Keith just kept telling me, just hit Success Club, do your 3 new invites every day, and I just trust the process. And I want you guys to look at the same thing, like when you tell your challengers, the same thing, right? You have people in your challenge group that are like, okay, I just did the 21-day fix and I gained a pound. And you're like, but just trust the process and keep going and do another round. And that's what you tell them, and you pick them up and you tell them that it's going to be okay, but do their clothes fit better? Are they feeling better? You go through that whole thing with them. And so I want you to self-assess and ask yourself those same questions when you're talking about the business. Are you helping people? Are you getting messages? Are people inspired by you, even if they're not purchasing from you? Like, is something changing for you in the business? Is your personal development are you a different person than you were when you signed up, right? Like, ask yourself all of those questions. I know we focus so much on the results, but enjoy the process, because if you don't, this business is going to be way hard on you. It's going to stress you out. You're going to expect too much. You're going to get disappointed way more often than you need to. So please just trust me when I give you all of my notes here tonight. Please trust me. I tell you the guys this all the time. I never ever train you on anything that I have never done myself, or that I've never questioned myself before, okay? So I need you to understand that. I would never ask you to do something that I've never done. I'm not that type of leader. I never will be. So, all right, so I just kind of wanted to preface that as we begin. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is list building. Before we get into a like page, I want you guys to know that I didn't open my like page till 18 months ago. I mean, I had one and it was hanging out and I would sort of post to it, but Mark and I didn't like heavy, hardcore go in this thing till over a year ago. So that was 4 years, almost 4 years into the Beachbody business. I started off with 250 Facebook friends. That was it, okay? In July of 2010. I had 250 Facebook friends. I think I had just opened my Facebook in February of that year. I had no idea what I was doing. I knew nothing about Facebook. I just was like, okay, I'm going to do this business. And I had been doing the other business with it, but I didn't really know what I was doing, right? So I quickly myself learned how to do this Facebook thing. And I followed what Chalene Johnson was teaching and what she was teaching her sister Janelle Summers. And I did everything Janelle Summers that we have in our Team Passion page. We have a file that says, you know, here's your Facebook posting guidelines. She trained the exact same file at Summit, right? She maybe tweaked a few things, but this has been working for 5 years since I started. So there may be a few things that we have to tweak here and there, but this is all the same stuff. So I did whatever they told me to do, and then I figured out Facebook, and then I became the expert in personal Facebook. Bob Lucido and Keith Callahan had me training all the time on how to properly talk to people and run Facebook. So that's just what I did. I taught myself. I figured it out. I watched other top coaches. I was kind of like, okay, you know, I didn't sell. So your Facebook personal page really needs to be your Facebook personal page. Your like page is where you can sell, but you can't do that on your personal page, but that's okay because you can run your business just by being you. So let's talk a little bit about list building, because you can totally do this with everybody that's currently on your Facebook page, okay? Here's a few things. So, and I learned this acronym when I did the other multi-level marketing. So it's been around. It's in Beachbody's lingo too. There's two things. The memory jogger. If you've never found the memory jogger, or it looked too overwhelming, or you saw it and you're like, I've already talked to all those people, please go use the memory jogger as intended. Sit down with your spouse, with your partner, with your mom, with your dad, with your sister, with your brother. Sit down and make a list of everybody in this category on the memory jogger. Trust me. So Amy Yannick and Tanya Mendoza, they love MJ Durkin, and they're always posting his stuff, right? He teaches this memory jogger stuff and having this list of people. So it's very important. He said, he used to be a consultant with Beachbody, and he said a lot of people think they have a closing problem when in fact they just have a list problem. Okay, so you're probably like, I don't know how to close. I can get their why, but then I lose them. I hear crickets. What am I doing wrong? You're just not talking to enough people. You're not doing anything wrong. Your list isn't big enough. You're relying on 20 people or the same 100 people that are on your Facebook. You're relying on them to all join you, and you've talked to them 50 million times. It's not going to work. So you have to build this list. So grab that memory jogger. It's in your coach. I don't know where it is now. They change things all the time. But it's in your Coach Online office, under resources, under forms and documents, or news and training, or something. Click around. Find it. Go to FAQ and put in memory jogger. Actually, I think we have the memory jogger in the Team Passion in the file page. So go ahead and find that memory jogger and use it as intended. Don't skip it. It's going to ask you for an accountant. It's going to ask you for a hairdresser. Whatever. Make a list, because that list is your master list. And GoPro, Eric Worre talks about the same thing. So do it. And then Frank is another acronym that's quick in the memory jogger. Friends, relatives, acquaintances, neighbors, and then kids, your kids' friends, parents is what you could add for the K at the end, okay? Make a list of all of those people. Then here, I want to tell you about how I friended people on Facebook and how I still friend people on my personal Facebook page. I went through everybody that I went to high school with from 4 years before I graduated to 4 years after, and I would just friend 2 people a day. There's a section in your friend list where you can put in, like if you put in your profile on Facebook that your high school name, you can actually click that, and it will show everybody that went to your high school. And I would just click add friend, 2 a day. I didn't worry about if I remembered them, if they were going to remember me, if we got along, if whatever, whoever they were. That was high school. I didn't stress about it, okay? I just did it because we are adults now. and you are business owners, people change, some don't. You'll find that out the hard way when you're forming, all good. They don't have to join your team, but you'll figure it out, right? So go ahead and go through and do that. Just 2 a day though, because Facebook will put you in jail. So 2 a day. Make sure you have a bunch of mutual friends in common. Make sure, you have, because Facebook, again, if that person says, I don't know this person, and they mark you as spam, you get a strike on your account and Facebook could put you in jail. So just be careful, cautious, 2 a day. So you have all your past schools in there, so the college in there too. So you might have to go through your Facebook right now and do where did you used to work, where did you used to go to school, with all of that. Put those all in so that those criteria come up in your Find Friends option, those boxes. So I went through all my past places that I worked, everywhere I went to school. Now in college, I commuted. I didn't really know hardly any of these people, but I just friended them 2 a day. I didn't worry about it. Pull out your Christmas card list or your address list and friend those people on Facebook. Friend Auntie Susie that you don't even hardly ever see. You see her once a year and you're like, hey, wonder if Auntie Susie's on Facebook. Friend her. You want to build relationships in your groups, in groups that you are in. So if you are in mom's groups, dad's groups, soccer groups, school organization groups, your kids' dance school, all of that. All of those places have parents groups now or groups. I'm in a Disney World group. I'm in a Criminal Minds group. I'm in a Shamar Moore group. Surprise, surprise, right? So I'm in all of these groups, and I just, I don't spend a lot of time in there, but, the Disney World group, Mark just booked us to go to Disney next Wednesday for 5 days before school starts, sporadically out of the blue, so I posted in there. And then today we found costumes for the girls on that new Disney movie Descendants, and I was like, oh my gosh, they were all sold out, but they had the girls' sizes. You guys, go get it. So, oh my gosh, thank you. And people will just start talking in there, and then if you seem to like these people, just friend them or just form with them in the group. Always, always ask for referrals. Always. If someone tells you no, say, you know what, thank you so much for your time. Please keep me in mind. If someone is looking to lose weight or get healthy, if you hear from a family member that went to the doctors and they need help or something, please always just keep me in mind. That'd be great. And I'll send you a referral gift if they sign up. Something like that. And say to them, always, I know things can change. So if you're ever looking for something different than your current routine, please always keep me in mind. So always end your invites with asking for referrals. And then what will happen is people will think of you. They'll be at a party and they'll be like, oh, everybody was talking about losing weight. And they'll be like, oh, you know what? I have a friend named Nicole who's a Beachbody coach, and I think she could help you guys. Do you want me to hook you guys up? I get friend requests and messages like that all the time. Hey, my friend's going to message you because we were just talking this weekend, and I thought of you because I know, that you're an active Beachbody coach, and they saw the 21-day fix infomercial. Can you help my friend? Yes, of course I can. So because I'm so active on Facebook with what I'm doing, people are going to think of me when they're at somewhere thinking about talking to people about losing weight. So doing all of this is going to be great, but you have to be active on Facebook. You have to be doing those 3 posts a day so people know what you're doing. No, there should never be a surprise when someone says, wait, you're a Beachbody coach? That shouldn't be a surprise. Now, there are some people out there that oh, I didn't realize 21-day fix was Beachbody, so I ordered it off the infomercial. Liar, it says Beachbody all over it. But you may have some things like that happen, but you know that that's not your fault. You totally tell everybody you're a Beachbody coach, right? So don't hide that. Make sure everybody knows so that when they see that infomercial, they're coming to you, not anybody else, or they're not ordering on that line. They're like, hey, I just saw an infomercial. Can you help me with that? Make sure when messages like that start coming in, you're doing good, okay? Your Beachbody customers. My message now is, hey, my first email is just reply so that I know you got this, so I'm not going to spam. And then my second email when we're talking back and forth is like, hey, I run these online health and fitness accountability groups. Friend me on my personal Facebook page and I'll get you added. if we're talking, like 9 times out of 10, they're friending me and I'm adding them as a customer. And then they're asking me when I post, hey, I have a sneak peek coming up, I have a new challenge group coming up. They're asking because they're on my Facebook friends list now. When you see people out and about at a playground, at the grocery store, and you guys are talking, hey, do you have a Facebook? Can I friend you on Facebook? And do it right there from your phone. This is like crazy. You have these smartphones right here, okay? So, and join network groups like BNI groups. Those are like local networking groups where business owners get together and you're allowed to, like, once a week, stand up and 5 minutes tell everybody what you do. So lots of different groups like that. Real estate agents sometimes do little groups like that, but sometimes you have to pay, sometimes you don't. So it just kind of depends, but be on the lookout for groups like that. All right, so you can build your entire business on your Facebook personal page by doing all of that, okay? You will never run out of people. You won't. I'm telling you. So right now, like a lot of new coaches or even coaches who've been doing this for like 6 months are like, all right, Nicole, I think it's time for me to open a Facebook like page because I've exhausted everybody on my current Facebook. And I'm like, have you? Have you? Because it took me till I had over 4,000 people as friends to exhaust my Facebook friend list, and I'm still adding. Okay, so here's what's making you think that. You haven't added 2 new friends a day, like I've told you on every Zoom call, right? You are prejudging half of the people on your Facebook page right now. So you're like not even inviting them because you're like, they're not going to be interested. They have a good job already. Stop prejudging. I see that Laura Ashworth is on here. Looks like she might just be on her phone. She's in the dark. But I will never forget a story that she told me when we did the other MLM years ago. She went and did a party at this woman's house. I don't even know if she remembers the story. Probably she does. She went and did a party at a woman's house. There she is. And this woman had a beautiful house, right? Like gorgeous house. Look, the party that she did ended up being like over $1,000 party. Like it was amazing. All of her friends had money. Everybody was buying all the goods, and it was like a great party. And what we were taught in that business is we would sit down and we would take everybody's orders and we would ask every single person if they would like to host the next party. Okay, and that was just what we did and what we asked every person, regardless of if they were going to say yes or no. It was our job to ask. And we would ask them if they were interested in maybe, earning their stuff for free and becoming consultants, right? And so that was just what we did. So we asked every single person if they want to become a consultant or a hostess. And at the end of the night, Laura left. She thanked our hostess. She was all packed up. She went to leave the house, and the woman said, hey, I don't know if, I don't understand why you didn't ask me if I wanted to turn this party into my starter party and become a consultant. And, Laura was like, wait, what? Oh, I'm so sorry. You're right. I didn't. Is that something you'd be interested in? And, however the conversation went, but it turned out that the lady needed money. Yes, she had this beautiful house, but her and her husband was getting a divorce. And the lady needed money. And she was like, why didn't you ask me? I need this. Thinking, no, Laura didn't think. She didn't ask her because she was like, she doesn't need this, right? She was prejudging, even though she was taught and trained not to. She knew not to. She was a leader in that business, but it slipped her mind. So that's the same thing that you're doing to people on your Facebook list right now. You're prejudging a lot of people. So if you have over 250 friends, go look at that list. Have you really invited all 250? Okay, so I just kind of want you to exhaust everything on your personal page before. I don't want you to do this before you do a like page. I want you to start thinking about a like page, but I wanted to get that first half of this call in because I really think you're not inviting everybody on your list. You're not adding people every day. You're not asking for referrals. You haven't really done that memory jogger. I've done the memory jogger 4 times in 5 years. And every time I do it, Mark and I come up with a list of over 100 people. Okay? So yeah, okay. So now let's talk about the Facebook like page, right? So when is the appropriate time? When should I open a Facebook like page? You can do that on day one as you sign up as a coach. That's fine. Here's what I want you to do. I don't want you to start actively being on your Facebook like page until you learn how to do it properly. You're going to waste time. You're going to get frustrated. You're not going to understand it. Facebook wants you to pay to play. Okay? You have to pay. You have to pay for likes. You have to pay for ads. You have to pay for boosted posts. And then they're going to show people your Facebook like page to others on their news feed, okay? You have to pay. You can organically have a Facebook like page increase, sure. It's going to take a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of tweaking and figuring this out. If you start posting, if you open a Facebook like page and you start posting on it, and you're like, I just got 1 like all week. That's normal. That's normal because it's not showing up on everybody's news feeds. Facebook is going to show the most popular people. I know, I said this was in high school, but this is how it works. Facebook is going to show the most popular people that get the most action to everybody's news feeds. That's just what's going to happen. If people aren't commenting on your stuff, it's dead in the water. Nobody's ever going to see it, okay? But if you put a really nice picture with it, or a video, that's going to get some more play, okay? So your personal page, right? You're like, just had my shake, just did my workout, here a picture of my cute kids. You can't do that on your Facebook like page. It's not going to get anything. It's not going to get any action. Nothing's going to happen. You have to think through your Facebook like page posts. Like they have to be so good for people to see them, okay? Or you post them and then you boost them and you pay money and then Facebook will show people. Now doing that takes a lot of effort because you have to target certain people. You have to go through quite a process. So how do you learn how to do this? You use Google, you use YouTube. And let me tell you where I started with social media. So I started with Chalene and Janelle. I watched top Beachbody coaches, so I mimicked everything that Hillary Kelly was doing, Mindy Wender, because they were moms that were making a business out of this thing. So I connected with them. So I followed what they were doing. I don't really connect with Janelle Summers. I don't, like, she's amazing, totally love her, but you know, I don't watch her Facebook like page because I'm not gonna do the post that she does. I mean, and it's just not going to connect with my audience. I don't have abs like her. I don't have a body like her. I'm never going to wear booty shorts like that. Maybe someday, but that's just not who I am, right? So it's the moms that I go and I follow who are on Facebook. So whoever you connect with as a top coach out there or someone super popular in the Beachbody world, go watch them, okay? So, how do you get trained? So I followed Janelle and I followed Chalene, but then I started, following other people. I was like, okay, who else knows like big people, right? So I started, I found Gary Vaynerchuk. Someone talked about him somewhere in a training with Beachbody. He's crazy. His like YouTube channel. He started, like, his claim to fame is like he did like a wine TV weekly wine thing on YouTube. I don't know, but he's loud and whatever. But he has a book called Crush It. That is where it started for me. It's really good. It's really quick. It's easy. It's short. It's nothing crazy. An easy read. And he just goes over how to post on social media, how to be on social media. He goes over that every social media platform is different. So you can't talk the same way you do on Facebook and the same way on Instagram, Twitter. You can't talk the same way on any of those. None is like the other. So he goes through all of that. Then he has another book called Jab, 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 Right Hook. I have never finished Jab, 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 Right Hook. It got really dull, really boring. I got to the Facebook like page stuff and ended. I got the concept of the book. So he talks about you want to offer free content all day long on your Facebook like page. Same with your personal page. So practice this stuff on your personal page. And what I mean by that is, giving people tips, giving people motivation, giving people recipes, giving people whatever you can for free. Give them a 10-minute workout to do or something like, here, do 10 jumping jack, whatever. Don't be crazy stupid about it, but something simple. Hey, I just did, let's do a plank challenge right now. Everybody that posts a video underneath this of them doing their longest plank or something. But you give people free, which is jab, 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 and then you right hook them with an offer. Hey, join me in my next challenge group, okay? Now, on your Facebook like page, on your Facebook personal page, don't be posting your link, buy from me, join my next challenge group. You can do like join my next challenge group, but do it in a way that doesn't sound salesy. Like, hey, I'm starting an accountability group for back to school, click like to hear more or something. But if you're constantly posting, here's my link, here's how you join, Facebook could literally shut your personal page off. They could take you away. They could take you off of Facebook because there are rules that you've agreed to that say you won't sell on your Facebook personal page. Hence, on the like page, like if you've seen some of my sponsored posts, I'm like, it's a big sales pitch, right? But that's okay on your like page. Okay, so you can do that. So you can get away with a lot more on that page because it's okay to do that because you're a business on there. So what can you expect when you start going through all of that stuff? You can expect a lot of crickets, okay? I said this, but I want to tell you again, it's not going to be, you're not going to open a Facebook like page and be open for business and be flooded with people coming to you. It's not going to happen. It's going to take time. You want to learn, so through Gary, you can learn through him, Gary Vaynerchuk, start there. But then also Amy Porterfield rocks Facebook like page. She will give you a lot of free stuff. She will jab, jab, jab you, and then she'll invite you to a webinar, and then she will right hook you with a program that will cost you money to buy, which is fine. Brian Tracy and Chalene Johnson and all of the other big ones out there, Jim Rohn used to say, I've heard this said by a lot of people, they will tell you that whatever your income is in your business, you want to invest back in 10% of your income back into personal and professional growth. This is professional growth, okay? So investing in one of Amy Porterfield's programs, one of Chalene Johnson's programs, investing in ads, boosted posts, that's fine. So it should be 10%. So if you're not making a lot of money right now with Beachbody, you probably going to try to get as much free stuff as you can out there, right? I also want to tell you that this stuff here that you're learning and it's part of your professional growth and all of that, this should be overtime for you, okay? So if this is something you want to do like so bad, because honestly, right now, I don't have a list of people. I pay for 2 ads that come in right now. It took Mark and I 18 months to figure this out, 18 months. And I have Mark Jones in my back pocket. It took him 18 months to figure this out. He followed Amy. We did Marketing Impact Academy with Chalene twice. We tweaked. We had business meetings every week on how to do this. It took us 18 months. Now we have successful ads running, and this is how I earn all of my Success Club points and sign up all of my coaches. So it's possible, but again, this was when I had over 4,500 Facebook friends. I pretty much had exhausted just about all of them. 4 years into my business, I'm making well into 6 figures, so I'm investing. We can invest. We pay to play probably almost $1,000 a month on Facebook right now, $750, but we've upped it a little, so now it's up over 1,000. Okay, so it's possible, but I want you to know that for you guys right now, I want you to really have this be overtime work. I want you to focus on everything I said in the first 20 minutes of this phone call. I really want you to focus on getting better at list building, better at asking for referrals, better at not prejudging, better at just building relationships and not focusing on the outcome. Okay? You can start dabbling in the Facebook like page. I want you to do that. I want that to be your overtime work. I want you to, after all of your 3 vital behaviors are done and you're like, you know what, Nicole, I have like an hour that I could kill and I've done everything. Put on some headphones, get some personal development in your ear, some Gary, some Chalene, some Amy Porterfield, and then just dive in and just go and take notes and start learning and start, figuring it out. One of the biggest things that you need to do first, this was shared with us. Chalene Johnson has a program called Marketing Impact Academy. It's $2,000. Mark and I invested in that, and it's where we've learned all of this. And then Mark has learned from Amy Porterfield as well, because Chalene has learned from Amy Porterfield. But she takes, there's like, 12 modules in her Marketing Impact. And there's like a Facebook module, an Instagram module, a YouTube, a Pinterest, all of these modules. But the first 4 or 5 modules, she makes you journal about your lifer, your avatar, right? I talk about this all the time, especially in our diamond page. You want to know who your ideal business partner is. And this is going to take, I'm telling you, it's 4 modules worth of finding your avatar. She takes you through a big process, and I've shared it many times. It's, I can sum it up right now, but basically, who are you looking for in your ideal business partner? For me, it's someone who has amazing work ethic, who is self-motivated, who is not going to need me to hold their hand, who is going to, take my advice and do it, not someone who's going to argue with me. Not that I'm anyone's boss, but I want someone who's coachable, who's going to say, okay, I'm going to trust you, Nicole. I'm going to just do this. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to fight with you. I'm just going to do whatever you say, because I heard you've made $1 million with Beachbody, so you must know what you're doing, right? So I want someone like that. And I want someone with the work ethic that will go above and beyond. This is what I always think of when I think of my avatar or my lifer. Sitting at a desk job, when I worked at a desk job for however many years, there were a few women that I worked with, and if a wrong phone call came in, I would say, oh, I'm sorry, this is the payroll department. You meant to get billing. Let me transfer you. I would transfer them to billing. If the person in billing didn't pick up, I wouldn't just hang up and allow them to go to voicemail. I would pick the person back up and say, oh, I'm sorry, they're not at the desk. Would you like to go to their voicemail? So that took me an extra 2 to 3 minutes out of my day, but I did it because I'm the person who goes above and beyond. It's who I am. Where other women in my office will be like, that's not my job, and send them right back to the receptionist, right? So who do you want on your team? Who do you want on your side? If you put, like for me, I put moms, but again, I sign dads, I sign single guys. It doesn't matter. You're not only looking for this particular person, but the majority of our team is moms, right? The majority of the people on my team are moms. So you're looking for this person, you're putting your story out there. You're looking for someone who's similar to you. They don't have to have the same struggles, but they get it, right? They're going to connect with you. So bits and pieces of your story need to be put out there on your like page and your personal page. You need to start letting people in. If you're just posting, here's my workout, here's my drink, here's my life, and you're not posting anything emotional, you're not letting anybody into any of your struggles, you're not going to know who your lifer is. You're not going to know who you're looking for. You're going to sort of, but it's going to be like fake, right? Because you're like, I don't really know. And you're not going to be attracting any of these people. One of my first coaches who worked from this like page boosted post is Ashley. And February 17th is when she signed up, I believe, of this year. And she sent me a message the morning of, she saw my boosted post, and my boosted post talks about my story. It says, 4.5 years ago, we were struggling. My husband had to ask how much money to put gas in the car, that story. It's out there. She said, oh my gosh. I said, what appealed to you about the post? That's my first question to everybody. And she said, I just asked my husband this morning, or my husband just asked me this morning how much he could put in the gas tank. My mouth dropped to the floor. I didn't even know what to say. She signed up, but like, hello, if she isn't my lifer, I don't know who the freak is, right? And she's doing amazing. She should be diamond, but she has emeralds on the same leg and under her husband, but she's like inches from diamond. She did everything I told her to do. She texted me every single day. She did everything. She's coachable. She's teachable. She's my lifer, right? And I only attracted her because I put my story out there. I put myself out there. Okay, so that's going to take time. So before you launch a like page, and by the way, there doesn't have to be anything special about a launch. You just open it. I think that's the other thing. Wait, I got to launch it. I got to get it just right. I got to load it with a bunch of stuff. No, you don't. It's just like opening a personal page. It's going to take a while for people to get to know you. There's no launch. You just do it, okay? But before you do that, you need to be so clear on your avatar and your lifer and who these people are going to be. Because now, ever since we figured this out, like 18 months ago, we started really journaling about our lifers. Every single person I sign up now, they're it. If some of them don't, some of them aren't super successful yet, but they're all still in my life. They're all still in the business. They're all still here. They haven't quit. They're like, it's amazing. And it's so freeing and fun and awesome. But you can find these same people on your personal page too. You certainly can. Cheryl O'Malley is another example. She is on my personal page, and her story, it's funny how we met, but they're out there, and you can find them, and you don't necessarily have to have a like page to make all this work, but you can. But know that you have to pay to play. It's going to take you a lot of time to figure this out. You have to do it yourself. It's like a lot of research and Googling and tweaking and YouTube and analyzing yourself. Like Mark gives guidance. We have a like page training that we do, and Mark gives guidance and tips, but he would have to sit down, know who everybody's lifer is, and be an admin on your page and sit there and target and analyze and do, and then I would lose him, and that's not going to happen. So, that's the only way for Mark to truly figure this out, but you guys have to do it. He didn't say, hey, how do I do this? He just went, Googled, YouTube, figured it out, would ask me questions. Hey, did this post do well, Nicole? Are people commenting on your stuff now? What's happening? Tell me what's happening with the ads so I know what I need to do. And so I do, and we tweak, so I hope that was helpful. I think that was everything. It was. I have a call to action for you guys. The call to action is to do the memory jogger and post it. Post your list of the memory jogger on the Team Passion page as soon as it's done. And I also want you to go and do 3 invites tonight before you close those pretty eyes of yours. 3 invites tonight, or whenever you're listening to this on the recording. But if you're on this now, do it tonight and post in the Team Passion page when you're done. 3 people that you've prejudged. You want to invite them, but you're like, nah, they don't need anything like this. Go invite 3 people that you've been afraid to invite or that you've prejudged, and go and do the scary invite. You may want to vomit, but it's all good. Eat that frog, right? Everybody's read that book. Eat that frog, get it out of the way. You will have like an amazing night's sleep if you do this. I feel it. Holly's going to fall asleep now on us. She's sleeping.
I'm recovering from my girls' weekends,
All
so
right.
I can't tell in my voice. There wasn't a lot of sleeping going on.
So fun. I bet that was fun. All right, this was 45 minutes, so these Zooms keep going longer and longer. I do want to let you guys go, but does anyone have a question that they want to ask real quick? They don't think will take a novel for me to answer?
I have a question.
Yes.
You said that on your Facebook page, everyone should know that you're a coach. I've been trying to make sure that I'm not salesy, and people have told me like, oh, you inspired me so much, I ordered the 21-day fix, but they never messaged me about it.
Yeah.
So how do I let people know I'm a coach without being salesy?
Yeah, so that's a fine line. So if you're getting a lot of those messages, then yeah, you haven't told everybody that you're a coach, or you're getting a couple of those. Once a week, just announce it. Announce it on like a Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Just be like, hey, I'm not sure if you guys noticed. I get lots of messages. Say that same thing, Mary. I get lots of messages. People are like, oh my gosh, you inspired me, and I bought it off the infomercial. So I'm not getting the point across here. I can help you. I'm a Beachbody coach. Just share it personally, like once a week. Even do that tonight if you feel like that's something you want to do tonight when you get off this. And just say that. Say, hey, I've been getting a few messages from people saying I've inspired them and they went and bought the 21-day fix from the infomercial. So there's a little bit of a miscommunication. I'm actually a Beachbody coach, and I can get that for you, and I can support you in your journey. So go ahead and do that. Maybe once every 2 weeks. I would do that every other Sunday night at 9 o'clock. Your 9 o'clock post should be something like that. It doesn't have to be the same one every time, but just do that. In your about, put that in there. I'm an independent team Beachbody coach, something like that. Do a video telling people what you do. Hey, I'm a coach, whatever you can do. Just don't do it every day. But I would definitely get that out there a little bit more for sure. And even in your post, just did my workout, just did my shake. Remember, you and I can work together. I'm a coach or something like that. Plant those seeds. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Anybody else? All right, cool. Well, thank you guys for joining me. Was this helpful? I feel like, yeah, good. Okay, good.
Yes.
I wanted to give you those first 20 minutes. So yes, this was a Facebook like page talk, but I wanted you to know that you don't have to jump there yet. Okay, take your time figuring that out. All right. Have an amazing night. I can't wait to see your call to actions, your homework, all those lists. It's gonna be fun. All right. Good night, guys.
Thank you.